Well, welcome one and all to the greatest puzzle talk show. I'm your host, living proof that your struggling rap career needs to come to an end, formerly known as DJ Mixmaster Mikey P. It's Mike. Joined here today with me is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tone. Tone recently saw Frozen 2 and just won't stop. He just won't stop. Now, you guys are going to see something a little bit different here on our next screen. Don't freak out. Just be cool. So this right here to the left of me is our list of topics that we're going to be going over today. The first couple of topics, we got some really cool stuff happening in the escape room community. Towards the end here, we've got some really cool stuff happening within immersive theater, immersive experiences, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Before we dive in, Tone, how's your week been?
I have had a fantabulous week. Let's see. Saw Frozen 2. It was actually our daughter's first ever time at the movies.
Oh, how'd she handle it?
She was magnificent. She stayed seated for literally the entire movie and didn't move.
I applaud her. I applaud her for doing that.
There was definitely some scenes where she was afraid.
Mm-hmm.
There were some scenes where, she was super excited. But she was like humming along to all of the music, and she was really into it. She was really into it.
I really need to see that movie. I saw Frozen 1 when it came out, and I'm a big Disney head, so I really want to see Frozen 2.
Personally felt that it was better than Frozen 1.
Bold words.
It's definitely a 2-hour music video. It is 100% a musical.
Like it's not just like songs here and there. Like every step, new song.
This is like little bit of character dialogue and then song. Little bit of character dialogue, song.
Oh, awesome.
It's very it's very consistent like that. But really, really good and very high stake movie.
You were talking about like some of the a little bit of adult overtones that are.
I was really getting like some Pocahontas vibes, but like not the Disney movie, like the real story of us landing with the Indians, and there was some dark stuff subtexted in there.
So surprise everyone, you just got your Frozen 2 review from.
I thought it was phenomenal. Really, really good movie. It deserves to join the $1 billion club, which I believe it's doing this week.
Wow.
Okay. So yeah, really, really, really good.
Excellent.
Otherwise, we had a lot of family stuff going on over the weekend. And then April and I
I'm excited about this.
Hit each location. Mike, you and Diana helped in this one. Chris Murphy helped a little bit in Red Bank, and we were able to we started really early on Sunday. Didn't you say you guys were like meeting at like 7 o'clock in the morning? No, 6:30.
6:30. Wow.
So we worked past midnight on Saturday night, and then 6:30 in the morning we were on the road Sunday. But we have a fully themed tree to the location at each location. And you'll have to wait till Gift of Escape on Wednesday to see what they look like.
Tune in to Gift of Escape this Wednesday on Trapdoor Escape Stream.
There were
Facebook.
some teases on Instagram already, but yeah, we'll go into detail on.
We might even have a few photos of like the whole creative process, from what I understand.
A little bit.
You a little tilted there?
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, that's actually like a Smash term. I'll tell you more about that later.
Anyway. So that was the weekend. Frozen, which was awesome, and then. Got to spend a lot of time with my little girl and a lot of family members and all that kind of stuff. But then the trees, which was a blast, and it was worth the no sleep. It was a blast.
I think the trees were basically the highlight of my weekend too. Decorating the Cure Z tree, which I'm so excited to show you guys this Wednesday on Gift of Escape. It looks amazing. My weekend was really boring. I did nothing except run a few games. Customers that came in got to get a fun time with me at Cure Z, and then I watched the new episode of The Mandalorian. Love it. I love it so much.
And then we've got the trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife hit, and I am in love with it.
Literally watched it as soon as you got into the office. Yes, so good.
I understand that there's a lot of people that are disappointed that like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson and Annie Potts and Sigourney Weaver weren't in the trailer, but I'm not even sure that they shot all of their footage yet.
There can't be. There's no way.
The movie's a year away, but they're probably either just finished production or they're finishing production.
Well, when did they even start filming? Because this movie
It's
was
been a little
announced. Oh, has it? I
Yeah.
feel like this movie was like announced like a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago.
It was announced. Keep in mind, it's only been 4 years since the disaster that was the Ghostbusters reboot. That did not go over so well, and I saw the Ghostbusters reboot, and I really like half the cast.
It just wasn't funny.
But it wasn't funny.
No, it was not even remotely funny.
And
I feel like they tried really too hard to be funny.
I hate Leslie Jones.
I actually don't know which actress that one is.
Leslie Jones is one of the SNL alumni, but she's
okay, gotcha.
Loud. Oh, so loud.
She's got a voice that carries, I take it.
Everything she does, her funny is screaming at things.
Okay, I understand that humor. I mean, like, I understand like what you're saying.
And
yeah.
to me, it's not funny.
No,
I don't think it's funny at all. But I didn't like her on SNL for the years that she was on.
Probably
SNL,
for that exact same reason.
Exact same reason. Every time she was on, in a skit, it was like, here's Leslie yelling at everyone again. I just never liked any of her humor. I love Kristen Wiig. Who looks dynamite as Cheetah for the new Wonder Woman movie in that trailer that dropped over the weekend.
Yep.
And
shout out to the phone in the background. Business is always booming.
And I very much liked. I always forget her name. Blonde girl from Saturday Night Live. I think she's hilarious, and I thought she was the saving grace of Ghostbusters. I thought she was the only thing good in the movie.
I don't know if that was enough to save the movie, but...
Oh, and I also can't stand Melissa McCarthy. She was in that, and she also got cast as Ursula in the new live-action Little Mermaid movie.
Did she really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be horrendous as a result.
I want to hold on to hope, because I'm a huge fan. Little Mermaid was my favorite, like, as far as the princess movies go. The Little Mermaid was my favorite growing up.
Not a fan of Melissa McCarthy. She's another one that I feel is like a one-trick, pony as far as her style of humor. Everything is always the same.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, lots of stuff there. And if you're not following Crisis on Infinite Earths, I mean, what the hell is wrong with you?
That'd be me. What's wrong with me?
Crisis started last night, and it started with a bang. 1960s Burt Ward Robin on the screen.
Holy crimson skies!
References to Michael Keaton's 1989 Batman universe and the guy who played Alexander Knox.
Yeah.
So, Titans cast was on the episode.
That's what I was most excited about, and I think you were just watching a review. I was kind of like peeking over your shoulder with the one guy. Like, nobody believed that Titans was going to be part of the crossover.
Yeah.
And first episode, there they are.
Yeah, I can't even call it. This is a mini-series movie event. This is a
definitely. This is something
deal.
that you'll find on YouTube a couple years later as like a 4-hour-long movie.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
But
anyway, let's get to the real talk.
We're going to jump right into a bunch of topics, starting here with the Christmas Hospital, or Children's Hospital. Escape room comes to Children's Hospital. First up in the escape room community, big shout out to Breakout Games as they visited Kentucky's Children's Hospital and set up a Santa-themed pop-up escape room to get kids into the Christmas spirit. This is really cool. This is something that I think should deserve the coverage. It's an escape room going, or at least a pop-up escape room heading their way to a children's hospital where these kids, they can't really get out, they can't do these escape rooms, and on top of that, being in a hospital, they're not really in the Christmas spirit.
Right.
So Breakout Games went ahead and went to this children's hospital and brought the Christmas spirit with them. I believe that this picture here, oh, there goes my phone. I believe this picture here is actually like signs for like the North Pole, Rangers Works, part of the escape room.
Okay, kind of like the, obviously it's a directional puzzle, kind of like when we did the one in the Sideshow.
Yeah, I was about to say Sideshow.
Yeah. That's cool.
No, this is really cool. I really enjoy seeing like articles like this pop up on like.
We'll give it a thumbs up.
You can give it a thumbs up. First topic of the day, a thumbs up. That's really good news because I'm going to test Tone's metal today.
Oh boy.
So I really enjoy seeing.
What is he going to do to me?
I really enjoy seeing this stuff kind of pop up in escape room news. It just kind of goes to show that, like, the creators and business owners out there, they're not just, like, you know, greedy tycoons that are trying to, like, get all the money that they can. They're giving back to their community. You know what I mean? As giving back to the community is a big thing, at least for me.
This is real charity, Sam.
Are we calling out Sam? Sam, this is real charity. I don't know what's going on, but I'm on the podcast, so. But yeah, I don't even think this is a charity. I think this is just, well, yeah, this is technically like a real charity. They're not benefiting from it. They're not gaining anything out of it, except maybe a few loyal customers.
Right.
So which trapdoor going to go to the Children's Hospital of Pennsylvania?
Is there one?
No, I don't believe there is.
I mean, I'm sure there is one in Pennsylvania,
No,
but is there one in the Poconos?
I actually don't know. I only know of the two major hospitals in the nearby area as far as like a children's hospital. But this is really cool. And you guys in the comments, have you guys ever had or witnessed any heartwarming stories where like maybe like an escape room goes to a children's hospital? Or has anyone done any like... You're gonna throw me off every time I look over at you. I have to start doing this. But alright, so that was the first topic. Again, big shout out to Breakout Games. Really love seeing this kind of content. And with that, we're moving on. I saw that, Tom. We're moving on to Universal Kids Create the Escape. Universal Kids streaming service recently released their first episode of Create the Escape. The premise follows... into two escape room professionals working with 4 young kids to create a new escape room. The first escape room showcased was Escape from Goopiter. The kids named it.
I saw the episode.
Did you actually watch the episode?
Well, yeah, David and Lisa were sharing it all over Facebook because David and Lisa from Room Escape Artists did have creative input in the episode.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually how I found out about it as well, yeah.
So when I saw on their Facebook pages them posting about it, I checked it out.
It's a cool thing because it does kind of show a little bit of the creative process that comes into making an escape room. You're not seeing a lot of the hardware process with like the walls being put up. Obviously, in the episode, they
a little bit,
but they kind of gloss over it like really quickly. You know what I mean? But there's only so much that you can do with 5 and 6 and 7 year olds.
So where do I sit on it?
He's unsure. I mean, he's... So...
So I'm sitting waiting to see another episode. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. And I'm not just saying that because David and Lisa were part of it. The creative process of making the game I quite enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
However, they like glossed right past all of the stuff I wanted to see.
What points were you like looking for?
I wanted to really see them build it. The kids didn't actually build anything.
Well, no, yeah.
They just came up with the ideas for it.
It would have been really cool to see like how they built like the little like because it's obviously like a space related escape room. If you want to watch the episode yourself, I believe it's still available to be streamed on Universal Kids. But it is a space thing. It's kind of got like the whole like the way they set it up with the walls and the paintings and like, where they put the certain puzzles. You didn't get to see much of how that was set up, just that they said they wanted to do it. And then...
Right. And then, 15-second montage of them putting it together.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I wanted to see more of what was in the montage, less of the kids talking about it. But it's a kids show. It's literally on Universal Kids.
So in that vein, how do you feel about it as a kids show? You being the father on the team, like would Liv sit down and watch this?
She's too young, no.
No? What's like the recommended age range?
I actually had it on in front of her and she just walked away.
Oh, okay.
To
be fair, she's young.
Yeah, so. She's 2.5. That's not her demographic.
So as a kids show then, do you think it's going to like hold up? Do you think like kids would be invested in something like this?
No.
No? Okay, I'd love to hear the reasoning behind that.
Attention span. It's too, I don't think the show is fun enough. The show appeals more towards people in the industry.
Yeah. Kind of like something that they would show their kids to get them kind of interested in it.
Yeah.
So like maybe in a few years you could be like, hey, Liv, check this out. You know how like maybe one day I want you to take over Daddy's business? There you go.
Yeah, I feel like, one of the issues that... Here's how I would narrow down my issue with the show. I don't think it knows who its audience is.
I can see that.
It threw a lot at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't know necessarily what sticks yet.
It had the fun elements of creating the puzzles, the whole creative process, and then it also had like.
And then it showed the parents playing it.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Being outwitted by the kids. All fine and good, but like, I kind of feel like that. Where could that show sit as a sweet spot? Most shows don't find their footing in the first 3 episodes.
Oh, well, that's fair. Yeah, we're going to see more of what the show does.
But this, I think, needs to be like parents who are into escape rooms watching this with their kids who are old enough to be wowed by kind of like the technology and the build out phase.
Okay, that's fair.
And then laughing at parents being outwitted, by the kids.
Yeah, because it has like the minor elements of like the fun in there. You know what I mean?
I think it's a co-op thing. Like they always say, like Shark Tank is the #1 watched family show now.
Really?
Yeah,
I
parents
didn't know
watching
that.
it with their kids, and the kids learning all about
business and stuff like that.
I feel like that's where this show would sit. But is there enough of an audience to the escape room world yet for that? I don't think so. But we'll see. Hopefully it sticks around.
So David, for as being part of one of the creative teams of this show, shout out to an excellent first episode. I look forward to seeing more, and I can't wait to see where the show itself goes, and I hope we get to see more of Jupiter while we're at it.
I hope we see more. I do.
I'm sorry. I keep losing it every time with the whole Jupiter thing. But on to the next topic. Escape Brexit. Tom, do you know what Brexit is?
Yes.
Oh, you do? For anyone in the audience that doesn't know...
We're not about to get political, are we?
No. We don't get political on this show. We avoid politics on this show. Now, I'd like to... It even says right here in the beginning of my little thing. Now, I'd like to go on record and say that we try our best to avoid being political on this show. It's bad business, a lot of differing opinions, etc. However, that being said, this falls within our parameters. Escape Brexit is an escape room opening in Manchester based on Brexit. And for those of you who don't know, Brexit is a portmanteau of Britain exit, as it was a motion to move Britain away from the EU. If you want more information on that, you can just Google Brexit for Dummies. That's exactly what I did. And now the escape room. So on to the escape room itself. No? Not a fan already?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Already not a fan?
I'm listening.
So, I'm so curious. Basically, how the escape room works is that it has both sides of the argument within the escape room. You choose which side that you want to solve puzzles for. Solving the puzzles gets you into the opposition's office for you to get kind of like dirt on the other side. So, I wonder, is this a clever idea for an escape room? Because this could also be like a recipe for disaster.
Sounds like a convoluted mess.
It kind of feels like that way too. It's just is.
Okay, so there's a lot of things we don't know.
Yes.
Creatively, did they legitimately have someone designing each side that truly believed in that side's point of view?
See, that's another thing that I would like
because, to know. It's like where we've gotten at a point now, even with news.
Mm-hmm.
Every news channel is slanted.
Oh, absolutely.
So
100%. Some channels lean a little more towards the left. Some channels lean a little more towards the right. It's not. No one is safe from it.
No, and it's not even just news. It's everything. It's,
absolutely.
We talk about it weekly on the shows. It's like we pander now to what the audience wants.
Mm-hmm.
We tell them what they want to hear. We give them what they want to see. It's no different. The news is, if you're on MSNBC, they're telling you what you want to hear. If you're on Fox, they're telling you what you want to hear. That's the one area I will go political on the show. If you think for a single second that Fox is straight down the middle, you out your damn mind. And if you think MSNBC is straight down the middle, you out your damn mind. Plenty of networks are very well known for having political slants. ABC has a political slant. It's all subjective to who's designing the shows.
The question lies, though, is that the person designing this escape room, we have to wonder, and you raised that good point, did they have a political slant,
Right.
or were they true
Right.
neutral?
Right.
Which, if we have any viewers in Manchester, first of all, amazing. Hi, hello from the
There's
States.
no such thing as true neutral. No one's true neutral. So, it's like although I always end up selecting a side to vote for in the elections here, I'm a mishmash. So, and a lot of people already know that about me. You know, I have views that can sit Republican side. I have plenty of views that the Republicans would never even have me over.
Absolutely.
So, as a result, I'm an independent voter, but I will always select from one of those two sides whoever I feel is the best fit going forward for our country. And I believe that everyone should make their own educated decision based on that. But I'm still probably, depending upon circumstance, slanted one way or another. I couldn't write something that's totally down the middle. No one can.
I'm completely unbiased,
So-
just because you gather your own information and involuntarily you form an opinion about it.
Right. So I feel like no matter what, this game has an agenda.
You might be right. You might be absolutely right. I would like to believe that the person designing this, maybe they weren't a true neutral person themselves, but I would like to see if the room was neutral. If we have any fans out in Manchester that play this game, please let us know. I'd love to hear more about it, because it's not often that you see a political themed escape room because of the recipe for disaster that it could be, because of the terrible feedback that could come from it. So to see this pulled off, and if it were pulled off successfully, that'd be a sight to behold.
I think it would be boring as hell. So thumbs down.
I mean, it's politics.
It's like it's like classroom education escape room. People don't want to be stuck literally in a learning mode.
You're right, though. Like, come visit our Algebra 3 escape room.
Yeah. That, to me, that's where that falls. You're trying to educate people on circumstances that you probably are not the best person to be educating them on, because no matter what, your opinion is in this presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is Escape Brexit, and I didn't come up with that name. Just so everyone knows, I did not come up with that name. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic.
Can't wait.
A bizarre escape room. You're probably wondering what that picture is, Tone. One of the most popular things to stream on Hulu and Netflix is anime. And that's what we're looking at right now. This is a picture from a show called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Anime is actually popular enough that it has a few of streaming services of its own to watch some of your favorite at home. One of the more popular...
Most of it's X-rated, I heard.
Some of it is X-rated. Some of it. And there's a whole picture about how World War I led to the creation of hentai. There's a whole meme about it. Next week on Puzzle Talk.
No, that will not be next week on Puzzle Talk. No, it will not.
But one of the more popular anime right now goes by the name JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. And while the manga and anime itself are at an end, the story of Giorno Giovanna isn't over yet. Japan is opening a JoJo-themed escape room that will be touring across 30 cities in Japan. 30 cities, a touring escape room. The anime is another big is a side thing. We'll come back to the anime later. I want to talk to you about a touring escape room. What exactly dictates a touring escape room? Are trapdoor escape events a touring escape room?
No, I've been to a touring escape room, and it was the biggest hunk of garbage I've ever been to. It was the Resident Evil escape room.
That breaks my heart. I love Resident Evil.
So do I, but not the escape room.
No,
nor the movies.
And
most
valid.
of the games.
I
love Resident Evil, but it's like I only love like 3 of the games. I just so passionately love them. But
I'll give it to you. The later games really flopped.
They just became Call of Duty wannabes.
Absolutely, I'll give that to you.
But okay, so main point of a touring escape room would be that you're announcing select cities that you're going to tour and set this game up inside of for a specified period of dates.
Right.
And then you're going to pull it out and go somewhere else.
Oh,
and you're going to go down the line of your tour schedule.
Gotcha.
So it's like, a comedian touring.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, here's the problem with it. All these games tend to get big wear and tear during their show times.
Oh, absolutely, with breakdowns and setups and just the multiple usages.
And then it goes to the next venue, and it's already partially broke. So, venue number 2, it's 5% broke. Venue number 3, we're up to 15%.
You get to venue 4.
Venue number 4, we're at 20%.
Eventually,
by the time you're done, like when we played Resident Evil in New York, that game was half in the bag.
Ooh.
It was like there were lock hasps that were glued onto surfaces that just popped off in our hands while we were holding it. Like, it's, it's too much wear and tear. I don't, unless they're going to be very diligent with the upkeep, which I doubt it.
I don't know how the touring escape rooms work in Japan. I do know that Japan is kind of like the mother of escape rooms. I believe that's kind of where like the escape room industry kind of started. Singapore? Yeah, it's where it like gained its popularity. Now on to the part that you probably know more than I about, the anime aspect of it.
I know literally zero about the anime world.
So this isn't the first anime escape room. It's not the first JoJo escape room. Actually, it's the third JoJo escape room. And there have been several anime escape rooms themed exclusively to Japan. For my anime heads out here, some names you'll recognize. There was Rurouni Kenshin, I believe, was an escape room. My Hero Academia became an escape room. And now JoJo's Bizarre Adventure gets its third escape room. And JoJo, the fact that this is it's kind of perfect for an escape room. And I'll tell you why.
The only JoJo I know is Fancy Nancy's little sister.
Oh, I was thinking of the singer.
JoJo Clancy.
Oh, all right. I thought I was thinking of like the singer JoJo.
Yeah, she loves pirates.
Oh.
And peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Here's the thing about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and the plot for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And if anyone watching in Facebook, if anyone's watching on our Facebook or on our YouTube and they know the plot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, tell him, because I don't know. I have absolutely no idea what goes on in that show.
If anyone knows the plot first, ask yourself why you're still alive and living and what do you contribute to this planet. And then you can default to Mike's move.
First of all, anime is awesome. There is some anime that is actually really, really good that I still watch and enjoy. It's popular enough that it's on streaming services, so I'm going to go with that. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, however, I don't get it. Straight up, I don't get it. There's a dude that's 16, first of all, looks like he's... I'm going to pull up the main picture real quick. That guy, 16 years old. He looks like he's 30. And I don't understand the plot at all. Or
It's art's subjective.
You got me there.
You have a comment there on YouTube.
Oh, Sui Cassidy Darlington. Kira would be helpful here. Oh, yes. My younger sister Kira is a huge fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Cassidy, find out everything that you can about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from Kira. Come back and post about it. We're probably going to be on a different topic by the time you come back, but it's okay. I'll backpedal. I told you I was going to put you through the metal today.
Wonderful.
That concludes the Bizarre escape room, and that concludes the talk of a touring escape room.
Maybe we could do a anime escape room live streaming show on Trapdoor Escape Stream. Only $11.99 a month.
I would be so all about it if we got an anime. Can we get an illustrator in the comments? Cassidy Darlington. No. All right. Well, didn't want your help anyway. Moving on. Immersive cinema experience. This tone I think you're going to get pretty excited about because I was super excited. From scratch and sniff to 3D to IMAX, moviegoers have been immersed into movies in a variety of ways for years, and now we have a brand new experience available for moviegoers. Immersive Cinema Experience, or ICE, not to be confused with ICE, will be debuting in LA sometime next week and features laser projection and giant LED panels that line each side of the theater so that moviegoer peripherals are still seeing the action. It's a new way to fully immerse people into the movies that they're going to see. The debuting movie for the ICE cinemas is going to be Jumanji: The Next Level. So this is pretty cool. Something that happens in theaters, you have the screen right in front of you. You've always had like a wraparound screen. IMAX kind of does like.
So they're adding LED light panels.
They're adding LED light panels all the way from the front to the back. This is a thing they did in France for a little while that is making its LA debut. It's really dependent on camera motion and action, and I guess that's why they're using Jumanji to be the debut movie. So movies like that, Fast and Furious, Mission Impossible, are probably going to get like this setup for it. So why the thumbs down, Tone?
All right, movie theaters. Meet me on the close-up. Listen, we're going to have a talk. Just you and me now. All right? You had a good run. It's been a long time. Everyone loves to go to the movies 20 years ago. It's just not happening anymore. It's time to face facts. The writing's on the wall, movie theaters. It's time. You need to retire. Let the new kids, streaming services, in town take a shot at it. They're going to take that ball and run. And you're going to retire, lay back, watch clouds move across the sky. It's It's okay. It's okay. Look, I still love you, but I'm old. The new generation, they've moved on. They've moved on to not moving off their couch with their iPhone in front of them, watching movies on streaming services. You're not going to get them back. In order to get them back, they would have to get up, walk, get in a car, drive, maybe drive at night, and a lot of them are afraid to drive at night. Get to a movie theater. Pay. They don't have any money. Go to the movie. Maybe buy some popcorn. But again,
After you remortgage your house.
no money. It's just not, your time is over. No more last-ditch efforts. You're just wasting money. That's your retirement fund. You don't want to waste that money anymore. Hold on to it. Invest it in something else, like maybe a streaming channel. And this time next year, I don't want to have this talk again. All right? Let's move on. Okay. Good talk. Okay.
You held that in for a while up there, bud?
What?
You held that in for a while? You glad you got that out?
What is this, a topic fart?
A topic fart? From Chris Murphy.
What a beautiful reality check.
Jeez.
Well-
Audience viewers, do you agree with Tone? Are you done going to the movies, or are you going to check out this new immersive cinema experience?
Look, I just went to the movies over the weekend to see Frozen. And
Yeah.
I love going to the movies. But again, I'm in a minority now.
Well, yeah, and we've had this conversation 1,000 times. People just don't go to the movies like they used to.
No.
Like, they did not, almost hardly at all. So, I'm sorry that Tone had to give it to you straight. AMC, Cinemark, whoever else.
Just watch those shapes in the clouds go
I
by.
just, I can't. All right. Well, I guess that covers the immersive cinema experience, RIP movie theaters. And with that...
That honestly sounded like a cheap little last-ditch effort.
do you feel like that
It's-
was like the movie theaters trying to like stay relevant?
How's it even staying relevant? What really does that add to any experience? A bunch of LED light panels? For what? What does that add?
I'm not entirely sure. It keeps your peripherals in because I guess you can't see the sides of the screen as you're watching the movie.
Onward.
With that, we move on to our final topic, and then after that, we're going to wrap up the show, tell you when to tune in on Wednesday for Gift of Escape. Before we get there, this past Thursday at Walt Disneyland in Florida, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Wow, you butchered that.
Did I?
Well, first off, there's no such thing as Walt Disneyland.
Oh.
There's
Whoops.
Disneyland, and then there's Walt Disney World.
This guy watches the Imagineer documentaries. He takes this really to heart, real personal, right here. Up next, we have probably the biggest immersive attraction with Disney theme parks. Star Wars Rise of the Resistance is an immersive attraction that opened this Thursday at Disneyland, Disney World, and will be opening January 17th at Disneyland, and will act as the centerpiece for their $1 billion park expansion, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Now, when Galaxy's Edge first opened, as it was a flop.
Yes.
Everyone
Yeah.
wrote it off as a massive flop.
Yeah, no, it cost a fortune, and they were paying cast members of their own company to walk around just to fill out attendance to make it look more busy.
Disney execs even tried to go ahead and say that there was some success to Galaxy's Edge, though, pointing out that food and merchandise sales were a big thing that kept it alive.
Yeah, sure, because it was a fortune.
Yeah.
It's like if 5 people paid, it was the equivalent of 50.
That's fair. You're absolutely right. So with only the handful, and what was the one ride there? I believe it was the Millennium Falcon Simulator. Basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So,
but okay, so I watched the ride through of Rise of Resistance. I got a lot of freak show vibes.
Really?
Yes.
As far as what though?
Well, okay, so for one, Rise of the Resistance very much follows the Universal Studios theme park design book as far as the fact that the ride is about 50% video and all that video is rear projection.
Okay.
So right from there, I get a lot of Freak Show vibes because Freak Show is a lot of projection.
A lot of projection, a lot of rear projection. I remember setting up some of that, and it was pain.
So great. It looks fantastic, and there's a massive amount of story that happens in this ride, which is really cool.
To the point that they even created almost their own movie poster for it. I'm actually going to pull it up one more time just because I love the way it resembles...
They're doing that across the board now. They have a new Mickey's Runaway Train ride that has its own giant poster that's gorgeous too.
It's so great, and I love the design of it.
Yeah, and we've been making posters for our games for quite some time.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, and then aside from the projection stuff, there's a scene. There's a section of the ride where you're in the car and lightsabers are coming through the roof.
Oh, I see. Where
you're in. Not the car you're in. It's an open-face convertible type of vehicle. But from the actual ceiling, there's lightsaber beams coming through and burning through. And it totally reminded me of Slice's, our Sword Swallower's trailer, where the swords are coming through the ceiling in different locations and intervals. So it made me think, we're on the same page with the Disney Imagineers logic now. We just, the big difference being we don't have
$1 billion
steel structure, and the set is breathtakingly gorgeous,
phenomenal,
breathtaking. There's the one scene where you come into the one room and then all the soldiers are lined up in the white suits, and I was just like
the picture in the top right over here.
It took me a minute where I was like, are those actors or is that all animatronic? But then they don't really move. They just do a little head tilt, so it's animatronic.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's basically a model dummy with one form of motion. Their head does a little tilt, which brilliant. But when they first go into the room, I was like, oh my god! It sells. It sells well. I think this is what that land needed to plus it up to get people through the door.
Galaxy's Edge was a $1 billion gamble by Disney, so Rise of Resistance is really going to be the saving grace that pulls them out of whatever debt they put themselves in.
If there's one thing Bob Iger is very good at, it's looking at a situation, assessing it, and plussing it until it makes money. And I think that's what Rise of Resistance is going to do. There's another ride coming too.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Is it did they announce what ride it's going to be? It's going to be in the Star Wars land?
Yeah, I saw a photo for it. But that'll help round things out a little too. But yeah, I think this is really as simple as they just need to promotionally pull back a little bit on the pricing of the food and the merchandising and that stuff. They need to rethink their hotel situation.
What's wrong with the hotel situation?
We've talked about this. The fact that you check in and you're there for 2 days and then you have to check out. You can't stay there and go to the rest of the parks.
You're right.
I think they need to rethink that. And then with Rise of the Resistance, I think they got themselves a home run. I think we're going to see the tide turn on the whole Galaxy's Edge section of
I definitely know that I'm going to be one of the first people in line the second I can get down there to get into there. I've always been a fan of their immersive attractions, the whole going into on a spaceship. If you to believe that you're on a spaceship, to believe that you're in the room with a bunch of absolutely.
You are 100% immersed in that world. Now we've talked about, and I don't think it's going to be an issue, but There's people who love Star Wars, and there's people who don't like it at all.
Oh, absolutely. Those people exist.
But
They're wrong, but they exist.
There's more than enough people who love Star Wars for this to be a success.
Yeah, I'm not going to go on the record and say that I'm not going to say that it's the most popular movie out there, but it's got to be top 10. It has to be top 10.
It's top 10. 100%.
Gotta be. So with the amount of people that are going to go and flood this place, or probably already have flooded this place, considering it opened this past Thursday. So I'm going to hear about reviews back real soon from how well it's doing.
Yep.
But that is that. I remember being a kid and going to their Lilo and Stitch immersive thing where like Stitch was jumping around on the chairs and stuff, and like I think he farted in my brother's face. It was actually really great. They had like a little machine that sent out like a smell so that you can like smell it happen. It was great. So, Rise of the Resistance opened this past Thursday at Disney,
and it broke first day.
Wait, did it really?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I feel the pain, Disney. I feel the pain.
I mean, nothing is perfect the first time around. Literally nothing will be perfect the first time around. I bet you, and within an hour, they probably had that thing fixed.
Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't catch up on that, but I do know it did break down on them first day, and it was pretty bad. But I'm sure they got it together.
Well, that concludes our thoughts on Rise of Resistance. This also brings us to an end of another episode of Puzzle Talk. And before we leave, we're going to talk to you guys one more time about the gift of escape. We still have, I think, a few more weeks until Christmas.
One or two.
We still have 2 more weeks until Christmas. How many tickets have people won, Tone? Like, two people. I think about 2 people have won. Two people have won escape room tickets so far. So the opportunity for you to win an escape room ticket happens this Wednesday at 6 p.m. where we go and take a deep dive into one of our escape rooms. Grab a puzzle. You solve that puzzle and then win yourself a free escape room ticket applicable for any trapdoor location or trapdoor events, not applicable to Raven Guild or Trapdoor Escape Stream. This is all powered by Trapdoor Escape Stream. I think this is going to
be the probably the best gift of escape episode this Wednesday too, because we'll be able to actually get into the holiday trees at the locations.
Absolutely. We're going to give you guys a showcase of a bunch of pictures, maybe a few videos of the different types of trees that we have decorated up here. Every tree is themed. I'm super excited. My favorite tree, I work with it. It's right out front. I'm actually going to look at this as soon as we're done here. And just remember that this is all powered by Trapdoor Escape Stream. Starting at $11.99 a month, view any of your favorite Trapdoor Escape Room games, Trapdoor Escape Room events on our website with me, the director of streaming, or anyone hosting the games. But that brings our Monday show.
Hey, make sure you do it now, because if you join, you get your first month free.
First month is free?
First month free.
First month is free? Nobody told me.
You're already a member.
Nobody told me. The first month is free. Guys, we gotta go. The first month is free.
www.trapdoorescapestream.com.
Tune in Monday at 1 p.m. and Wednesday at 6 p.m. I gotta go. It's free.